Hello friends and welcome to another Bluebird Art Studios video. My name is Miss Emma and today we will be doing an acrylic painting of tulips. For this project you'll need a selection of paint brushes, a canvas, some acrylic paint, and water. Let's get started! The first thing we'll do for this project is take a large brush, mix up a light pink, and add it to the bottom area of our canvas. I'm painting with horizontal strokes to make sure everything's even, and then once we get about here on our canvas, I'm going to switch to a light purple and continue going up. As you go up, blend in between the two colors so you create an ombre in this area. And once we get up here, I'm going to add in light blue. And I'll blend that down into the purple as well. And now we'll let our background dry before we continue on to the flowers. For our next step, we're going to switch to a small brush, take a dark green, and paint 3 lines on our canvas. These lines are going to be the stems of our tulips. Now using the same brush and color, we're going to add some leaves surrounding each of these stems. I'll begin with one right here, and these are going to be more rounded out than the stems, but still sharp. We'll add 1 or 2 for each of the tulips. Do your best to angle these leaves in different directions as well. Once you're happy with where you've placed these leaves, you can make sure they're thick enough to be in proportion to the tulips. Once we're done painting these leaves, we're going to switch to a light green and add some highlights. I'll start with the stems and make a line on the right side of them to show that the light is coming from this direction. Once we finish the highlight lines on the stems, we'll do the same thing on the leaves, blending it into the green we already have. Make sure that your brush strokes are following the lines of the leaf as you do this. After we've added these highlights and lines onto our leaves, we can move on to the flowers themselves. We're going to start one flower at a time and one petal at a time. You'll also start with the flower in the back first. So I'm going to begin with this one. Staying with my small brush, I'm going to get some pink paint on it and create a petal right here. The first one is just going to look like a curled line, making the curve heavier at the bottom. I'll add in some white for a highlight, and not blend it in completely. I'll also add some red for a shadow at the bottom of the tulip. Then I'll move to the main petal in the front. I'll have it go up, curl to the side of our first petal, round it out, and then curl opposite and move back down. Fill this in with the pink, and then we'll add some white for our highlights and just blend that in. Notice that I'm keeping the highlight in the same direction throughout the painting. And then we add in the shadow or low light with that red. For our next tulip, I'll do the same process. I'll mark out where the first petal is going to go, and then the second. This one I'm making more open than the first one, and then the third. We'll add in our shadow, and our highlight. And moving on to our last tulip, I'm going to make the first petal be all the way in the back and more shadowed, so I'll start with a red, and then paint the petals that are going to be in front of it. And then paint the third one in the very front. Once we have finished our last tulip, we are done with today's painting. Thank you for watching, creative friends. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I hope you've had fun creating this masterpiece with me. We'd love to see what you've created, so feel free to share your art with us. See you next time, and stay artsy.